Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to this week's edition of Monday Motivation. Now, this is about my third attempt, so if you're watching and maybe this is your first time watching, this is how it works. I can't see you, but I can see a number count at the top of the screen. So unless you come and say hi, I don't know that you're watching. So if you are watching, even if you're getting the kids ready and getting breakfast and starting your day in your office, just type a comment in the box below and maybe give me a thumbs up or a love heart so that I know that you're here and that you're watching. The other reason that I ask you to do that is A, because this is now my fourth attempt to go live. So am I live? World, can you hear me? And also it lets me know whether the comments are working on my phone and whether the thumbs up and love hearts are working on the screen. And already I can see Ian's on saying, good morning, Jenny. Ivona's on saying, morning, Jenny and everyone else. And thank you for the love heart that went across the screen. So we're all good. It means that I don't have to keep looking down there at my computer. Well, welcome to this edition of Monday Motivation. And this morning I have got a rather juicy and jazzed up Monday Motivation for you, based on what I have been doing last week, not just me, but about 200 other people in a room. And I figured that why not motivate not just myself and those around me, but let's all get motivated together to be doing the things in life that we want to do. So Ali's saying good morning to everyone, and Ivona says you can hear me loud and clear. Thank goodness for that, Ivona, because I was just starting to wonder what was going on with the connections. So today I want you to give yourself permission to go for it. Why? Because I know you can. You know, as a coach and working with clients, both privately and in groups, one of the things that I see and that I hear a lot are when people will tell you all the reasons why they can't do a thing. They can't work something out. Maybe they're challenged with technology, or they'll tell you that they can't go somewhere because of something else, or they can't afford it. They don't have enough money. They can't possibly do that. They don't have enough self-belief. And I'm a real fan for like looking past that, seeing past that, and going for the bits that you can do. But it doesn't actually always take me. Sometimes I'll see it, and especially when I'm working with people, I'll see where they can, I'll see the possibility, and I'll point them in the right direction or lead them in that way. However, the one thing that saddens me most about the job I do is that so many people don't have the belief themselves that they can. And as Henry Ford once says, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. If you think you can't do something, you won't be able to do it and you'll struggle. But if you think you can do something, not only will you do it, you'll start finding a way to get it done. Hey, Alan says, good morning, Jenny. Good morning, everyone. So we've got a few of you on watching. So do me a favour. I was rather remiss this morning, and there's a good reason for it. I was up at 5 a.m, which I feel is going to really like completely wipe me out next week when the clocks here in the UK go forward. So I thought I might as well get in the practice now. Start getting up at 5 a.m. this week, and then next week be like, oh, I'll get it done. Ivona says, love your energy, Jenny. Had no sleep last night. Long story. I'm feeling your energy and I'm fully awake. Good, 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 good. So, right, okay. Those of you that are maybe feeling a bit kind of, get into my morning, I want you to do something. I'm standing up so I can do it today. I can jump up and down. Just start by shaking your hands. I'm not going to get you to run miles or marathons. Start by shaking your hands, wiggling your fingers really purposefully, really quickly. And if you can, shake your wrists and your elbows, and just like it'll start to get some energy into your body. Now, another quick tip, take some really deep breaths in and out, but really quickly, sort of like power breath. So, and that will wake you up. Now, this is not something that I would advise you to rely on doing every single time, but definitely just to get the energy moving in the body. You've just now told your body that you're awake and that you're ready for action. The other thing, of course, I advocate, and I make sure I'm not advertising something I shouldn't, is drinking lots of water. And this has been one of my downfalls of late. So if you're watching and you know that you need to drink more water, type in the box, yes, water, and we'll all do it together. I worked in an office many years ago, and we used to have these 2-litre bottles of water on our desk. And once one of us took a sip of the water, we'd pour ourselves a glass and start to drink it. Because we all kind of wanted to drink at different times, we'd all shout round the office, drink! And then everyone would pick up their bottles, pour their water out and drink. And I used to manage to drink nearly 2 litres of water a day when I was at that office. So drink! Hide the advertising, although I'm sure you can tell who it is. Okay, so welcome on to those of you who've never come before. I've only said nice exercise. I usually jog on the spot too. Yeah, sometimes you're not feeling it, so you have to just start with something little. So fingers, wrists and everything else, and then jog and wave and do star jumps and the splits and everything else. So France Lee says, good morning everyone, and she's giving you all big waves. And Ivana's also saying she drinks lots of water. Herbal tea is what I have first thing too. Yeah, me too, hot water and lemon, but there's nothing that replaces water. So why do I know that you can? Why do I know that you can do whatever you want to do? How do I know that you can go for it? Well, I have this belief, when we have these big desires and these plans to do something, they're not actually put there for our entertainment or to wind us up or to show us, look, this is what you could have had, but you can't be bothered to do it. It's none of that at all. Normally, that big dream, that big desire, that big goal that you have almost starts like a little seed in your stomach. You get excited about it. And one of the things that I observe in a lot of the people that I speak to and work with is that they go, what? Who? Me? I can do that? Really? And they have this element of doubt. And before they get into the why they can, even the how they can, they'll normally trip themselves up. So they'll either say, well, no, I can't do that. I'm only this, or this. And they'll discount themselves and opt out. Or they'll go, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'm going to go for it. And then they'll start going, oh, but I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know, how I'm going to make it happen. And come up with all the reasons why they can't. So this morning, I thought I would share something with you that I've done myself, and I have done with a lot of my clients too, which helps them to be able to stay on the can wagon and keep going. Do you fancy a bit of that? If you fancy being able to do something in your life, it doesn't have to be around business. It could be around kind of personal life or anything else like that. Just give me a love heart across the screen. Even to those of you that are watching that haven't said hello yet, that's fine too. Okay, you all seem pretty keen on that, so I can see the thumbs up and the love hearts too. So I've written down not 1, not 2, but 6 things. So I'll be quick because I want this to be a really great burst of energy, burst of you can absolutely do this for you this morning. So the first thing, and let me give you an example. Where was I on Friday? What was I talking about? Well, I attended the lovely Charles Wasman's boot camp on Friday, and it was about writing a best-selling book. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I went to the same boot camp last year. And in that whole year, although I had been getting up early and I'd written bits and pieces of a book, I think I hadn't done the first tip that I want to advise you to do. So many people say, I'd like to write a book one day, or I think I'm going to write a book on this, or, I might write a book on this. I'll try, all that sort of stuff. But the first thing that I think that was different between last year and this year was that last year, I was thinking of writing a book. I knew I had ideas. Could I do it? Could I write? And I put myself through those paces. But this year, point number 1, I have decided. I've made a decision. And for any of you that have got any goals, and if you want to share any of the goals that you've got in life, as I say, it doesn't have to be around your business or professional life. It could be around anything at all. If you feel happy to share on this page, which is public, do type in the box below. If not, I've got a nice group of visibility vibers where whatever you type in there is away from the prying eyes of your friends and your families, your Facebook friends. So if you prefer to do that, type in the search box and look for the Visibility Vibes Tribe, or I'll pop a link to the Visibility Vibes Tribe group, Facebook group, which is completely free underneath this. Okay, so if you've got a goal or a plan, the first thing to do is decide to do it. So last year I was tinkering or toying with the idea of writing a book. I even got a book coach, a really fabulous book coach, who helped me to stop getting that writer's block. Because one of my fears as not being a writer, see, I looked for how I couldn't do something rather than how I could, was to that I would sit down at my computer ready to write and have this brain freeze, have this writer's block and not know what to write. And she was absolutely instrumental in what she did there. So I made the decision this year, I'm going to write the book. Here's the title, here's everything else. Now I'm looking over there because I have got a big green book, which as yet has no name. But in that book is all my planning, the decision that I've made, the type of book I've decided to make. So the next few tips that I share with you, I think will help you not only get going, but will keep you going too. And you all said love hearts and thumbs up that love hearts I should say, and thumbs up that you wanted me to share. So share with you, I will. So the first thing is make a decision, decide to do it. Now this is just as applicable, and I wrote down some examples on this piece of paper here. So if you're like me and wanting to write a book, the decision is to write the damn book. If you want to get more fit and you want to start running, the decision is decide to run. It's as simple as that. If you're single and looking for love, looking for the person of your dreams, there's no point saying, yeah, I'd like to go, meet somebody one day. Start to go dating. Decide, I am going to go dating. It could be that you, like me, I'm very conscious of my sleep levels and I've been really good of late. And then in the last couple of weeks, I started to creep into very late nights, but still get up early-ish. I say early-ish, about 6-ish in the morning. And it wasn't doing me any favours because if I don't get enough sleep, I literally can't articulate properly. I can't get my words out. I can't think straight. So I decided on this point, not even decided to get more sleep, I decided to be consistent. I've decided to go to bed at a specific time and decided to wake up at a specific time no matter what. So make the decision, decide, and why not tell others? But I'll come on to that in a moment. So if you have got a goal, a plan, a dream, or something that you've had burning and growing in in your stomach, you're excited about it, you really, really want to do it. Here's the thing. Focus on one goal at a time. I'm not saying that you have to put everything off for years. So like if you're looking to, with a lot of my clients, a lot of them are business owners, they're wanting to exponentially grow their business. And they might be looking to write a book or they might be looking to do an online program. My advice is look at one of those goals. So growing the business, great goal to have, but maybe look at the online program or maybe look at the book or maybe look at the consistent cash flow or maybe look at the consistently telling your clients about what you do, because there's a leverage point in one of those. If you do one of them consistently, you make the decision to do it, then you'll start to move on. Hey, Beata's on. Morning, Beata. Great to see you here. And Beata's saying good morning to everyone else too. So if you're watching behind the scenes and you don't want to say hello, that's fine too. But what I do want you to do is not just watch this and go, oh, that was a good Facebook Live. That was very motivational and I feel zingy. I want you to actually start to do these and report back and let us know, either on this page or over in the Visibility Vibes Tribe. Let us know how you're getting on in the week. You will find over 470 people in there that are happy to support you. It's one of the few places on here in this space where you'll say, okay, I'm going in. I've got this big dream to do A, B and C, and people will support you. They won't poo-poo you. They'll give you tips, advice, opinions, point in the right direction to people, but they're very inclusive. So do go over. So point number one is make the decision, whether it's dating, whether it's healthier eating, whether it's getting fitter, whether it's looking after your money, maybe it's trying not to lose money, maybe you are slowly wondering how you're not going to get into debt. Alan's your man, he's on here. Alan is up to something very exciting. Alan is a man who's made a decision to do something. He's decided to show people how to stop themselves from getting into debt, or if they're in debt, how to get out of debt in the most amazing way. You're going to be hearing a lot about how he is doing that. And Alan's own story is inspirational. So if ever there was anybody on the planet that could say, no, I can't do this, it's too difficult, there's reasons why I can't, it could be Alan, but he's decided, I'm not going for that. I am going to help these people, and I love that. So decide what you're doing. The second thing is be clear on what you want. Now, most people say, oh, I find this bit the hardest, Jenny. I had a client who was talking about public speaking, and it always stays in my mind, because all they would say at the very first session that we had was, but Jenny, whenever I speak, I always go red. And then when everyone looks at me, I get really embarrassed and I lose my words and I flutter. And it was funny, we did have a bit of a joke and a laugh, because I said, imagine this, you're stood on a stage, everyone's eyes are not on you, but everyone's off you, looking in a different direction. You've got this whole audience, you're commanding their attention, but they're not looking at you. And she laughed. And you go to stand there and you notice that you're not going red. And you're like, what on earth's happening? Come on, go red, go red. And all of a sudden your focus becomes on you going red and not on your audience. And she laughed and she said, that's pretty much what I do. And here's the thing, when we are really clear on what we want, then we can start to see the opportunities for that to happen. We see the possibilities where we can make it happen, and we start to see a way forward. And it's weird because we don't even know how we're going to do it. We just know that we're going to do it, and we've got clarity in it. So using that lady as an example, here's the thing that most people do. They start to look at the reasons that they can't do it. I'm going to go red, I'm going to be embarrassed, everyone's going to be looking at me, I don't like it, I'm going to feel uncomfortable, my mouth goes dry, my words go all into one and I can't say anything, I say too much. Sod that, forget all of that. Have a look at being clear on what you want. So I want to be able to articulate really well, I want to be able to I wouldn't even say not go red, because your brain doesn't hear the not go red, it hears the go red. I want to be able to, like the opposite for her actually was, I want to be able to be calm, I want to be able to be measured, I want to be coherent, I want people to be hanging on to my every word, okay? So decide on what you do want. Now here's the thing, I am not like most coaches, I am not like most trainers, and I'm not like most speakers. So here's the thing that I'd invite you to do. If you've got a lot of head chatter telling you about all the reasons why you can't, get a piece of paper, and it's important that you do this on a piece of paper, even if you don't read what you're writing and you're scrawling it in the dark. Get a blank sheet of paper and write down all the reasons why you think you can't do the thing. Get them out of your head onto paper, on a separate piece of paper. Once you've done that, you can see all the reasons that are stopping you, that are holding you back. Once you've done that, then go for that second step. Aim for the clarity that tells you why you can do it and what exactly and what specifically you're going to do. Does that make sense? Let me just read these comments. So Beata says, I can't wait to hear more about Alan's work. You will hear a lot. France Lee says, funny enough, this morning I went through the way I deliver my services and realised that my treatment plans make total sense. So I decided to stop being a pleaser anymore by trying to please everybody, by trying to please everyone, and specifically those who can't see the value of my treatment plans. Absolutely. Otherwise, that's a really, really great example. I love that you posted that, France Lees. Otherwise, what happens is you start to kind of wade through the mire of why you can't do a thing, and you miss the opportunities of why and how you can do a thing, and that's really, really important. So it helps you to see the opportunities, it helps you to see moving forward. So number one, decide, make a decision to do it. So next time you find yourself saying, oh, I want to meet the man or the woman of my dreams, say, I've decided to meet the man or the woman of my dreams. Just change that and you'll feel the energy change in your body. So the second thing, be clear on what you want, and if you have got stuff that gets in the way that tells you why you can't have it, or that you're scared of doing it, or whatever other reasons, write those down on a piece of paper first, a separate piece of paper. Then once you've got that all out of your head, then go for the things that you want. And with that bit of paper, by the way, I would suggest that after a while you screw it up and throw it in the bin, you burn it, you rip it into 1,000 pieces, and make the decision that you don't want that for yourself anymore. But first you need to get it out there. It's almost like a mind declutter, which is something I talk about in the 7-Day Mindset program for those of you that did that last year. So the next thing to do is make sure that you want it. Now that sounds silly, but with my book, there was this kind of fashion around 2012, 2013, where I was with other business entrepreneurs, and it's like the world and their wife wanted to write a book, and it's almost like they'd go through these blood, sweat and tears, they'd write the book, it'd be published and out there, normally self-published, and then they would be like, okay, now I've done it, what's next? So everyone was introducing themselves, hi, I'm I'm an accountant and an author. Or, hi, I'm a B&B owner and an author. Hello, I'm a transformational coach and an author. And I was just like, you know what? It's expected around me that you're going to do this stuff, but do I really want to do it? At that time, actually, I didn't. So make sure, and the emphasis on this sentence is, make sure that you want it. Does it matter if your family and friends think it's a good idea? It doesn't even matter if your coach thinks it's a good idea. You have to find a way to make sure that it's you that wants it, because if you don't want it, a gust of wind will come, a grey morning where you can't be bothered to get up will come, and you won't want to jump out of bed and do it. However, if you want to do it, then you'll jump out of bed to do it. And if the reason that you want to do it is compelling enough to get out there, then you'll want to do it. So let's take the lovely Alan. His compelling reason for doing this is because he knows that there are a lot of people out there that are doing things with their monetary habits that could get them into debt. He wants to be able to stop that. He also knows that there are a lot of people that are in debt at the moment and they're not enjoying their lives at all. And there are a lot of very simple little habits that he could tweak and he could show them and help them to change, which will stop them from going on a downhill spiral. In fact, he has many compelling stories of how he's helped himself and other people to be able to get out of that. So he knows that this stuff works. It's not a concept or an idea that he sat down one day and went, I know, I'm going to do this. Now for him, his decision making point is, you know what, no more, not on my watch. I know things might be tough for people, but I can absolutely help them with this. And yes, he helps them with other things too. You know, he's a coach that goes from rough seas to calm waters, but he realises how much of an undercurrent, how pivotal this is in people's lives if they don't address this, and how it can have them going in a loop where they go backwards again and again and again. So Francis is saying, really good point, it works. Last year I decided that I didn't want negativity around me. No futile family drama. Since then I haven't had any, and I've even changed my mindset so much. Exactly. It's so funny. It really is a decision, because once you decide, then you go. Alan, France Lisa is saying she can't wait to see your progress. Go, Alan! He's progressing very, very quickly, trust me. So there you go. There's France Lisa and Beata who are already going, can't wait to see what you're up to. No, neither can I, although I kind of had a bit of an insight. So third thing is, make sure that this is something that you want. Now, the fourth thing is going to sound so easy. You're going to say, Jenny, really? You're really telling us this? And the fourth thing is, most people aren't specific enough about what they want. They're very vague. So I've heard people saying, you know, I want to write this book. And yeah, I'm going to write it sometime next year. So I did an exercise, as I say, I did this exercise on Saturday. I know it works because it's worked for me for many things before, and it's worked for many of the clients and even the organisations. And this is the thing, imagine that you are going into an organisation, a corporate space, and there are 30 people in the room, 50 people in the room, and you go in as a trainer, which I've done, you know, in the past and hope to do again in the future. I've gone in as a trainer, and you think, gosh, how can you get all of these people to be on board? Well, taking them through these exercises, so number one, get them to decide. The difference is when there's 50 people in the room, they all need to come to a decision that's going to help the greater organisation, the greater good, the greater company. So it's getting them to decide and agree on that. So once they've agreed and then decided, then you can move on to the next step. So here's the thing that most people do. They don't get specific enough. They start to say, oh, well, I think it will be around this time, or I think I'd like to do it here, there, or everywhere, or I think I might do this. All of this might, try, but is just a sign. It's not bad in coaching language, and I really wish people wouldn't give it a bad rap. This is just a sign that you're not 100% clear yourself. That's all it is. So when you find yourself saying, well, I'll try it, I think so, maybe, perhaps, any of those sorts of words, it's feedback from yourself, from a part of your brain that you probably didn't even tap into, that you have some concerns or some doubts. So take that feedback and say, okay, so how can I get very specific on this? Now, sometimes it's easy to put, you know, a goal. So me writing a book is quite easy because I can decide a day and a time in the diary, you know, by midnight on such and such a date, I'm going to have written the book. Now, I've actually written this all down, so I've got it all here verbatim. So I know that there's a specific date and time that I want to have written the book, a specific date and time that I wanted to have edited the book, and a specific date and time that I would like the book published. So once I've got those very specific markers in the sand, then I can go and start to take action and make things happen. Because I know that I want it to be published, I know that there's things that I can do now to start that. I can start letting people know that the book's there. I can start letting people know why, you know. So much like Alan's saying, thank you, Jenny. Alan, you're so welcome. I'm so excited for you. I just can't contain it, as you can tell. But one of the things, you know, Alan jumps out of bed in the morning because he knows that he can make a difference to people's lives. He knows that he's got years of experience, he's got hands-on experience, he's helped other people. He knows that he can make a difference to their lives in that area. He knows he can make a difference to their lives in other areas, but he knows that this is one that is really catching people almost like the banana skin under the feet. So he wants to go and help people to do that. I want to write the book, and I jump out of bed in the morning specifically because I know that in our lifetimes, for many of us here and in our society, that, you know, once upon a time when I was a younger girl, people would only ever be on TV, in a newspaper, a magazine, or be getting themselves out there if they were famous. Then it kind of changed and morphed into the whole kind of Big Brother thing, you know, where these unknown people would suddenly be catapulted into the limelight and then become quote unquote famous. They would sometimes carry on doing the thing that they do, or they would go on to have other careers. But the reason I'm writing this book is because people like you and we started from normally quite humble beginnings. We are what are called, you know, what are referred to as unknowns. Yet every single day I see people like Alan, I see people like Ivona, I see people like Ali, I see people like France Lees, I see people like Ian, who have, like, they just go about their business with a passion and a desire to help make a difference to people's lives. And they are not necessarily famous, and in my eyes they should be, because the amount of difference they make in people's life is like enormous. And I see a lot of this in the business community. Even like, you know, I know a lady who, her and her partner, they make plinths, you know, for you know, people to put awards and things on for different businesses. And even how they approach that in their business, they make a difference to people's lives. There's a lot of interest and things that they do behind the scenes for themselves that will make an absolute difference to people's lives. And the reason that I'm writing this book are for you. You guys who are crazy enough to think you can change the world and actually are, but you might not be famous. So my book is going to help you to stand out so that you're not having to be a show off, that you're not having to, you know, be a sensationalist, so that you're able to articulate your stuff, whether it's online, whether it's offline, whether it's when you're networking, whether if it's like lining up a proposition, and also the mindset piece behind it to keep you going and keep you driven. That's what my book is going to be about. Visibility on steroids. Hasn't actually got a title yet, and a bit like my green book, you know, when you're on TV, you go into the green room before you actually get on to the TV programme. Well, my green book is like the green room of my book. It's got everything in there, my plans, how I want to distribute it, who I want to tell, who it's for, everything. And thank you, Shah Wasman, because you put a rocket up my backside on Friday, as did Dan Meredith, and got me from, yeah, I'm going to do it to it's done. Okay, so get really, really specific on the thing that you want. Ivona says, Alan, I'm super excited to hear more. And Ivona says, I'm super excited to read your book, Jenny. This is how far I've gone in like 3 days. I'm actually going to allow, first of all, my Vibers, because they're the people that have supported me from the start. I'm going to allow them to get on the list to not only be the first to hear about the book, so watch out, and then later on this week, if I can get it in there, later on this week, I'll be just asking you to give me your first name and your email address so that I can give you updates. And because you've supported me so far in advance and everything else like that, I'm also going to be giving you some little sneaky insights of the process that I've been going through. Now, this could be the good, the bad and the ugly. So there'll be days like on Saturday when I was on fire and writing this stuff down and getting even more clarity and knowing exactly how I wanted to plan the book out. There's, as I look at you now on the camera, behind me on this wall, it is covered with post-it notes. I reckon there must be about 80 post-it notes on the wall where I'm starting to formulate the chapters, what goes in, you know, word count and things like that. But I'm sure there will also be days where I'll be crying into my porridge. And in, you know, in the spirit of being transparent, for those people that want to kind of come on the journey with me and see behind the scenes, I will actually be sharing that as well. But it's hard for me to share it one by one, so I'll be asking you just to give me your email address and your first name so that I can be sending you out a mixture of whether it's videos, photos, and just letting you know how things are going. So Francie says, can't wait. I thought that was the title. I like visibility on steroids. Actually, yeah, as I said that, it had a nice ring to it. Somebody reminds me, I have to write that down as one of the potential titles. So, last couple of tips. So you've already decided what to do, number one. You've been clear on what you want. You've made sure that you want it and it's not something that somebody else wants. Number four, you've got really, really specific. So number five is to get a point of reference that you'll know and feel. So what will writing the book get me? It won't just get me a book. So it's not like, oh, hello, look, there's a book, there's my book or whatever else. It will give me almost like a feeling of satisfaction that people that maybe at the start of their journey don't have to spend oodles and oodles of money perhaps to be able to get access to my concept and ideas. It will give me the faith that most people will just read this and say, gosh, can it really be as simple as this? Most people will read it and they'll go, ah, okay, my mind was somewhere else when I've been trying to do this. So with a few tweaks and how-tos, which will be in the book, it's suddenly easier. What I want to be able to do is I want people to be able to have a point of reference. So here's what I want you to do with your plan, with your dream, with your goal and the thing that you want to get done, because I know you absolutely can. Think about, once that thing's done, what will it get you? And if the answer is, I don't know, more happiness or more money, now I want you to think of a time when you had happiness and money. So I want you to have a point of reference that you can relate to. So it could be really random. The happiness could be the day that one of your children were born or grandchildren were born. It could be the day that you became an auntie. It could be the day that somebody gave you like £5 when you were 5 and you felt like the richest person in the world. It could be the time that you felt like really fit and healthy and full of the joys of spring. It could be the time that you woke up and went, you know what, I don't feel tired this morning, I actually feel really good. It could be the time when you were eating and eating away and weren't worried or concerned about what you were eating. You just felt good, you felt like the food was your fuel. Whatever that point of reference is, find it and do whatever it takes to get in that place. Sorry, I've had my hair done over the weekend and I'm eating it. So find out whatever it is, the thing that you think that you want to achieve, you would have already achieved it before. Find out what it is. I remember doing an exercise years ago with a client who said they remembered a children's birthday party with like balloons and colour and all of this kind of stuff going out in the world. So find that experience. Write it down on a piece of paper. If you drive, stick it on your your rear view mirror, so when you come to traffic lights you can pull it down, have a quick look, pull it up again. Stick it on the mirror where you brush, if there's a mirror where you brush your teeth, stick it somewhere that you'll see it every day. I don't care if you write it in lipstick on your mirror, but just do something and put it somewhere that you'll see it every day. And this is not about I want to have the book written. This is about the emotion that it will give you, like making a difference. I will put on my mirror, making a difference. I have made a difference, because making a difference to people is really, really important to me. So then the last thing is take ownership. And this goes back to what I started off saying when you've decided to do. Take ownership. If you want to write the book, write the damn book. If you want to be fitter and run, start running. Even if you only run half of a mile, start running. If you want to be in a relationship, decide and start to date. Go and date. Don't worry about having to get it perfect. Ivona knows all about what needs to happen to you as a person in order to have the most juiciest date. She helps you to get relationship ready. So if you know that you want to go out there and meet the person of your dreams, at least start dating. So take ownership and start dating. If you know that you want to go out there and, in the world and not be tired all the time, get sleep. Decide and get sleep and be consistent in that. A bit like a baby. Go to bed at the same time every night, wake up the same time every morning. Facebook will still be there. Your emails will still be there. They'll be there for you to check the next morning. Get consistent in that. It's a really good practice of how you do anything is how you do everything. I can see a few comments, which I'm just going to end and read those out. And the other thing is tell other people, keep accountable. So for those of you that are part of the Visibility Vibes tribe, keep accountable. Let people know on a Monday, like when I post in there about the Monday motivation, normally just a graphic or something like that, let people know how you want to be kept accountable. If you are going to bed too late and you're on Facebook, let your friends know. I'm off to bed now. If any of you see me on here after 10 o'clock at night or whenever the time is you choose, tell me to go to bed. Don't interact with me. Just tell me to go to bed. Tell the people in your household, I want to be, in bed by X amount of time. So go. Now, if you live on your own and you've got an alarm or something like that, have an alarm that says bedtime and make sure that it's a bit before the time that you've said. So if you want to be in bed by 11 o'clock, make sure the alarm goes off at 10, because the one thing I know for sure is that if you're a person that stays up later than you should, you all of a sudden like, oh, it's time to go to bed. Why not kind of wind into that process? Make yourself a process where you get into bed, you read, you listen to the radio, you watch a bit of TV, do whatever the thing is that you want to do, and you start to get into that routine. So I'm just going to go back and read all the comments that have been flying through. Ivona says, you could write a book about the process of you writing the book. I could do. I think it's an area of excellence, but not my zone of genius. There are people that would, that I think would probably like to do that more. Whoops. For some reason, all my comments keep going up in the air. So, yes, thank you for that suggestion, Ivona. I think what I want to do is, rather than write a book about the process of writing the book, I want those people that say, look, Jenny, I would be interested in knowing about your book when it comes out. And for those people, like already 3 people have said, I'm pre-ordering it now. I want to pre-order it. For those people that have said that, I think it would be a nice gift to show them the process behind the scenes. Not the process of how to write the book, but my process of what I experienced in that, the good, the bad and the ugly. Francelise loved that. She said 2 in 1. And Beata likes that. She says that's very true. Ivona says, funny, I've decided to get off Facebook by 9 p.m. And Beata says, yes, please, tell me to go to bed if I'm on Facebook at 11. Well, unfortunately, Beata, I would have long gone off Facebook. So if you're on Facebook at 11, I won't see until the next morning. So here's the thing, using the 6 things that I said today, decide. So using Beata as an example, Beata, decide what time you're going to go off Facebook, not by 11. Go, if you want to be in bed earlier, decide an earlier time than that, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, something like that. So make a decision on that. Be clear on what you want and why you want it. Okay, so what time do you want to be off Facebook by? What time do you want to be in bed by? What time, what's your routine? Be decisive. Make sure it's something that you want and not just because I'm saying it, that everyone's going, oh, that sounds like a good idea, I'm going to do it. Make sure it's what you want. Be very, very specific. Break it down into, into chunks. Also, get a point of reference. So by being off Facebook, by being in bed earlier, what will it give you? And there's normally an emotion, a positive emotion that comes with it. A point of reference of when you had that emotion in the past. Could have been with something completely different. You could have been lying on the beach and feeling calm. You're like, I want that feeling again. Then write beach over your mirrors. That's beach. Beach over your mirrors, so that every time you're brushing your teeth, washing your face, putting on your makeup, combing your hair, doing anything else like that, or on your front door before you're about to leave, on your car, wherever it is, that you see that as a reminder. It reminds you of that state that you like. but definitely take ownership for it. If you want to go to bed earlier and you've decided, go to bed earlier. Get very specific, go through those points, and I promise you, it will be a lot easier to implement than you think. There's a consistency piece behind there as well that gets you doing it. So thank you so much for joining me. It's just as well, because Beata says, I love beaches, and I often only start working about 9 p.m. So that might be something to change, but one step at a time. That might be something to change. So thank you so much for joining me for this Monday's motivation. I'm off now to do a couple of bits and pieces before I am out of the office between 12 today and 7 tonight. So for those of you that like to join me over on the Queen of Being Seen page for the Visibility Made Easy tip, tonight is going to be at the slightly later time of 7:30. Okay, so 7:30, slightly later time tonight. So I look forward to seeing you over there. If you're not already part of the Visibility Vibes tribe, get yourself over there. Let us know what you're motivated to do, this week, this month, the next 30 days. Share in the group and you'll see how awesome the support is. So Ivona says, thank you, I'm sorted for the day. Great, that's good. That's what I like to see. Francie says, Jenny, as an amazing way to get you organised and planned. Oh, thank you. I have an amazing way to get you organised and planned. Thank you so much. Beata says, okay, later time noted. Excellent. So you might be cooking your dinner or eating your dinner or clearing up or whatever. I don't mind. Come up, show up, and take part if you're looking at Visibility Made Easy. And the other thing I would say is, if you've enjoyed this motivation this morning, just hit the share button. I would say this is a good one to share on your timeline, because you don't have to be in business to share this. Most people have got a goal, a vision, a dream. They want to quit the rat race, they want to lose weight, they want to eat more healthily, they want to spend more time with their kids, they want to spend less time with their kids, they want to tidy up more. There's lots of different things that they have. So I would really love it if you could hit the share button and share it with your friends. Thank you all so much for joining. Alan is teaching students public speaking tonight. Go, Alan. Alison Duff says, morning. Morning, everyone. We're off now, Alison. Have a look at the replay in this, and I think you'll like what you hear. France Lise is saying, big kisses to everyone. Have an awesome day. Looking after my chicken pox boy. Oh, bless him. So have a good day today, whatever you're up to. And remember, I make these for you because I know that you can. Keep on shining. Lots of love to you. Bye for now.